Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Chaos consumes the final day of the PLP's convention.
3 men brought before the magistrate's court find out which of them is charged with killing that 15-year-old boy last week.
The former Minister of Health says he understands why the current minister is still performing surgeries.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, it's still unclear who is the newly elected leader of the Progressive Liberal Party as votes are still being counted. Chaos consumed voting at the PLP's final day of convention. The process started 3 hours late due to alleged irregularities with the voter register. The result was mass confusion as some irate and frustrated delegates labeled the ordeal an unmitigated disaster. Jasmine Brown reports.
It was a chaotic scene as voters clamored to get inside after waiting for hours to cast their vote.
But 3:30 evening, it's just gonna be. They can keep on extending. I don't understand. Keep on extending because they needed to do something different.
That was pretty much the scene for much of the day as the frustration mounted amongst voters. Voting was slated to begin at 9 a.m. and end at 1 p.m. at the Maui and Nassau Beach Resort, but did not get underway until after 11 a.m., and that prompted officials to extend voting until 3:30. But by 1 p.m., the process was still moving excruciatingly slow, and as a result, some angry delegates stormed off without voting. As a result, there was a second extension, this time until 5 p.m. Our news team approached PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts for an explanation behind the massive delay, and an irate Roberts insisted it was caused by a computer glitch. But O.B. Wilchcomb, one of 3 candidates for chairman, explained what went wrong.
They were trying to clean up the list of registered voters, and so the matters that were brought to the attention of the commissioner, quotes, had to be addressed, and the Rules and Credentials Committee had to address those matters before the votes could begin. And so the voting began after they had gotten to a relatively clean list.
But for many of those voters, like former Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller, no excuse could suffice for the chaos.
What is going on now makes no sense. You got a lot of little rookies, I understand, running the show that does not have the experience or expertise as those who have run it over the last several years. And we need to correct that situation now because a lot of people are telling me now they're going home and they're not coming back. I met a lady from Bimini just now. Say she's not coming back. I mean, it's total damn chaos here. These guys got to get it right, man.
The chaos came during the final day of the PLP convention. Delegates cast their vote to elect the party leader, deputy leader, and chairman, among other executives. Many of those we spoke to, including the elderly and the disabled, said they were waiting online for hours.
This is a chaos to me.
We in the computer age now. We out of the age now with pen and paper. We got to change this whole process. That is why I'm supporting Brave Davis and his team. Because this party really needs change.
Look like there's a lot of people, I don't know what their process is inside. But I'm going to stay here until it closes. If I had to wait till the last, I'll wait.
I come out my sick bed, I can hardly walk. I'm going from here to the doctor to see about my foot because I have a bad foot. I couldn't go to church Sunday because of the condition of my foot. But I said today, I'll be here by the grace of God.
Have you ever seen this type of confusion?
No, never. I've been a part of the party. I worked with Sir Lyndon, Sir Clement Maynard, A.D. Hanna. I worked with them. I traveled with them from island to island throughout the Caribbean. That is the kind of work that I did with them. And never see, especially among us.
Meantime, PLP interim leader Philip Brave Davis declined to address the issue. However, his competitor Glenys Hannah Martin expressed concern about the haphazard process and said the party must learn from this.
It's something that we would not want to see happen again. And so we have to, whatever the errors in organizing, etc., that resulted in what we are saying today, that we'll ensure that when we do this again in any shape or form, that it will be a lot more efficient, more modern, and that people are able to be facilitated. You know, we have elderly stalwarts and all that, and I think it's a bit much to have people who are already challenged to be subject to this kind of situation.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
A local high school going viral, but not for a good reason. Video of some students at H.O. Nash Junior High School making the rounds on social media showing female students having a dance-off, but in what many may consider a very vulgar fashion. Today, an investigation was launched into what happened and how. Shaking, gyrating, and one even doing the splits. Some female students took dancing a bit far yesterday at H.O. Nash Junior High during their fun day. The video, which we had to blur because the students are minors, was all over social media today with people questioning where were the adults and how did this happen at the school. Today, in seeking answers, we went to the Ministry of Education. All right, how are you? Looking for the acting director of education. After waiting for a few minutes, we were allowed to see the acting director of education, Marcellus Taylor. However, he didn't wish to comment, saying he and his team would have a look at the video and, if need be, release a statement. So we made our way over to H.O. Nash Junior High, and after waiting for about half an hour, we were called into a meeting with the school's principal, Cheryl Samuels, who chose not to be on camera. She said she'd only heard about what had occurred from her daughter and was still trying to find out exactly what had happened and how, despite the dancing occurring just outside her office window. As we were headed out the schoolyard, Education Minister Jeffrey Lloyd pulled up. He reportedly made H.O. Nash his first stop upon getting back on the island this afternoon. He said upon seeing the video, he was disturbed.
Well, it is disturbing. I mean, there's no question about it. It is disturbing. But that's not the fault of our schools. And I'm continuously repeating this, you know. These children come from a home. These children do not come to school until, in many instances, they are 4 and 5 years of age. And so somebody, namely parents, guardians, whomever, you know, are responsible for their conditioning. And even so, these children go home or someplace after they leave school in the afternoon. So where is this behavior learned? Certainly it isn't learned in school.
Faculty at the school was heavily criticized on social media, with people wondering where were the teachers and the principal. Lloyd could not say whether any disciplinary action would follow, but he said an investigation has been launched.
I have to wait for the report. I need to see in writing exactly what happened, who would be the persons who, you know, perpetuated or caused this to be, who, whatever. And when I get that, then we'll take action.
In the meantime, he said the school is a good school and the teachers and principal are stellar at their job, so they have his support.
It will be investigated. I will get a full report, and at which time we will have a clear decision as to how we move from this point on. But I am in support of Mrs. Samuels and her team here. They are excellent. They have outstanding results every year in their exams and in their performances. I celebrate that. And that's something that I want the public to know about H.O. Nash. This incident is unfortunate, and this incident is going to be addressed.
In other news, a busy day in court as 2 men were charged with murder and another with possession of firearms. Jared Higgs reports.
20-year-old Mark Roll, seen here in the gray sweater, was not required to enter a plea to the single murder charge he currently faces. The Malcolm Road resident is charged with the October 17th slaying of 15-year-old Anthony Smith, who was killed on Prison Lane. Roll was not represented by an attorney, and Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt set a date of December 5th for service of voluntary bill of indictment paperwork before remanding the 20-year-old to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Also charged with conspiracy to commit murder was 27-year-old Rashad LaRota, seen here in the black shirt. He's accused of conspiring to kill Philano Williams on October 20th. LaRota is additionally charged with possession of an unlicensed firearm, possession of ammunition, and being a member of an unlawful gang. LaRota was not required to enter a plea to any of the charges and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until December 5th, where he, like Roll, will be presented with voluntary bill of indictment paperwork. LaRota was represented by attorney Nathan Smith, who alleged that his client was brutalized by police and made to come to court with blood-stained clothing. Also facing the court was 28-year-old Eugene Campbell. He was facing 21 firearm and ammunition-related charges. Campbell, pictured here in the orange shirt, eventually had the number of charges against him reduced to 15. The Fire Trail Road resident pled guilty to all 15 charges. That included 5 counts of introducing firearms to the country, 6 counts of unlawful possession of ammunition, and 4 charges related to possessing components of firearms. The Chief Magistrate adjourned Campbell's matter until tomorrow, where she will read the prosecution's summary of the case. If Campbell accepts the prosecution's version of events, the Chief Magistrate will accept his guilty pleas and proceed with sentencing. Campbell was represented by attorneys Ian Cargill and V. Alfred Gray. Reporting for our news, I'm Jared Higgs.
The murder count jumped to 116 last night after a young man was gunned down through Florida Court just east of Balfour Avenue. Head of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash, said they don't have much to work with at the moment, but at 8 p.m. when they got to the scene, they met the man's lifeless body with multiple gunshot wounds.
So far, we don't know the motive for this latest homicide. However, we are appealing to members of the public who may have any information as it pertains to this latest homicide to contact the police emergency at 919 or the major incident room at the Central Detective Unit at 502-9971 or 502-9969.
Melissa Morley lives in the area and recalls hearing the gunshots.
Okay, when we first heard the shots, we was to Key West Street. We heard the shots from Florida Court. We ran, being the nosy person that I am, to Florida Court, to the back road, and we heard the shots. And when we got there, we saw the person lying on the floor. And from there, we know that I thought he was still living and he still had life in his body, but apparently it wasn't so.
Still to come on our news, how the former health minister feels about Dr. Dwayne Sands performing surgeries despite sitting in cabinet. Stay with us.